waiting for that green light to come on and say we're ready to smack it, and we are ready to smack it. Hey guys, how you going today on BKR Sport? Big news. I know, it is massive news. The Redcliffe Dolphins have been announced as the new NRL team to enter in 2023. Now, obviously, guys, this is not usually the type of stream that I usually do. Usually I'm here doing the sporting games, as you guys know, but today I thought it's a bit of a different one. Let's go through the news that we've obviously heard about the brand new team coming in 2023. Also have a bit of fun, and we're actually going to do something here that is basically going through the off-contract players in 2022, at the end of 2022 and going into 2023, and kind of piecing together what we could do as like a best lineup. Now, a lot of that obviously is just, I guess, a bit of fun, a bit of opinion, and a bit of a laugh. But I thought we'd come on here and have a chat. Obviously, you guys shoot through your questions over there in the chat, and let's get talking. But yeah, as I did mention just then, guys, obviously the Redcliffe Dolphins are officially going to be the club coming in as the 17th NRL franchise. Now, there is talk of a potential 18th franchise that will be coming in potentially about 4 or 5 years later, but I'm just so excited for this, man. Obviously, I'm a supporter of the Gold Coast Titans, so I know all about how it feels to have a new team that comes into the competition and get behind them. Obviously, I'm not going to be getting behind the Redcliffe Dolphins because I'm a Gold Coast Titans fan, but it's so exciting for the area of Redcliffe and I guess obviously Brisbane as a whole that they're going to be getting another team now. Now, obviously, the Broncos, this is going to impact them quite significantly. And they're going to not have that stranglehold over that major city, as we've obviously been complaining about for so long. Now, will this be their rival? I'll get to that in a second, because I don't believe that the Redcliffe Dolphins are actually going to be more of a rival to the Broncos than another team in Queensland, but we will explain that in just a few moments. But guys, in the chat, let me know who your thoughts are and what your thoughts are in regards to what this is, basically, because it is huge. It is absolutely huge news here that we're going to be seeing another team, because this does mean the impact of a bye. This does mean that we're obviously going to be seeing a brand new team take players, and this is exactly what this is for. This is exactly what this is for, because as you've seen, Coach Wayne Bennett has, I don't think it's official yet, but basically we've been hearing this for a while now. You know, where there's smoke, there is fire, and obviously Wayne Bennett is more than likely going to be the guy that's going to be going to the Redcliffe Dolphins when they do come in 2023. Like I said, not official yet, but hopefully that'd be awesome, because he's not at the Rabbitohs this year. He's gone from the Rabbitohs after this grand final, and it's going to be interesting. TMA Sports says, "Hey Blaze, I'm looking forward to this new club. This is due to, despite cheering for the Titans, I never truly supported them. I'm hoping to get behind this new team, maybe support them." Are you from Redcliffe? Because otherwise, why would you go for Redcliffe? And they're not even actually going to be called Redcliffe, by the way. They're actually just going to be called the Dolphins, and I think they're actually more than likely going to be rebranded as either Sunshine Coast or Moreton Bay. I don't actually think they're going to. I'm pretty certain they've taken away the Redcliffe Dolphins. It's not a fact. It's not. This is all speculation right now. The only thing that we do know is that this team will be coming into the NRL in 2023. That's all we know. So, there are a heap of players that we will be speaking about today that will be off contract and do have a potential shout at going to this club, especially with the likes of Wayne Bennett being their coach. But, why would you be getting behind Redcliffe unless you're from that area? Daniel Sexton says, "Hi, how are you? Good, man. Looking forward to the NBA getting back started in the next couple of days. I was meant to do today, but unfortunately my I had a few issues. So I couldn't do the Lakers-Warriors game today." Broccoli Williams says, "Man, I hope they don't sign Harry Grant." Yeah, as you guys can see, I have got a poll in the chat. Obviously, shoot through your suggestions of players, but we will go through the off contracts very soon. Will Kettles getting around the Dolphins. Milosh says, "Yeah, I think they did take Redcliffe out of it." Yeah, I think it's the smartest option. Obviously, they're more than likely going to be utilising Suncorp as their main stadium. It's not going to be played out of Redcliffe. I wouldn't assume. They don't have a big enough stadium. It'd be awesome to see a couple of games get taken there, here or there. But look, the club itself has been upgraded to the NRL. In the same sense, I do actually have a question though, and I don't know if anyone here knows this. Because the Redcliffe Dolphins get taken out of the Queensland Cup, does that mean that we might see a new inclusion to the Queensland Cup from another place? I'm not too sure. I don't know anything about that. Dasman says they should keep the Redcliffe name. I don't think so. Obviously, look, Redcliffe are a very polarising rugby league club when it comes to Queensland Rugby League, and I feel like, yeah, look, Redcliffe Dolphins is a great name, but in the same sense, it does resonate too much with the Queensland Cup. You normally see these teams do create a new brand and a new organisation surrounding it, right? So, no, I think that by taking away the Redcliffe name, they can try and utilize the fact of being, I guess, having some Sunshine Coast support. I will talk about, in a minute, about the rivalry that I think will be forced upon by the NRL for this. I think I can see into it. I think I know what they're going to try and do. Actually, you know what? We may as well speak about it now. So, obviously, the Redcliffe Dolphins, you would normally assume they're probably going to be the direct rivals of the Brisbane Broncos, but I disagree. I think that the NRL is obsessed with this Broncos and Cowboys rivalry. I don't think that Broncos and Cowboys rivalry is there right now due to the lack of quality. However, I think the Redcliffe Dolphins are also going to have a rivalry with the Titans because they're going to kind of portray it as a battle of the coast, and that's why I feel like they're going to really immerse the Sunshine Coast. I know the Falcons have their team, the Melbourne Storm Theatre Club, and obviously that could be something down the long term down the track. Like I'm talking decades down the track for the Sunshine Coast. But I just feel like they're going to really try and immerse that part there and that factor there. I really feel like they're going to try and drive this Dolphins team as the rivals for the Gold Coast Titans because they really want to ensure the Broncos and the Cowboys factor. So that's my personal opinion. What do you guys think in the chat? Milos Wanza, I think it could be similar to the Tigers with maybe like two different stadiums, like the Tigers with Leichhardt and Campbelltown. See, the thing is, the difference with the Tigers is that Leichhardt and Campbelltown, Leichhardt was the home ground for Balmain, and Campbelltown was the home ground for West. That's a merger club, so that's different, right? I understand the concept that you're going with there, but it's completely different because they're a merger club in the sense that two clubs came together, two clubs had their stadiums, and they both want to utilise those stadiums. Now, the thing with the Tigers too is that those fans actually don't like each other. West and Balmain supporters from back in the day, they don't like each other because they were rivals, right? So a little bit different. Redcliffe obviously have a very strong supporter base there in Redcliffe for the Queensland Cup, and obviously they're going to translate that into the National Rugby League. But I wonder how solid they're going to be considering it's not going to be the Redcliffe Dolphins. That's my question. Vincent Larrigan says, "Hey BK, just tuning into the stream. Hard loss to take yesterday against Japan. Yeah, it was a tough one last night, mate. But obviously, you know, we're still in a very good position for the World Cup qualifiers." Danny says, "Sunshine Coast Dolphins doesn't come off the tongue well, but I agree with your take. I'm not necessarily saying they're going to call them the Sunshine Coast Dolphins. I was actually speaking to my mate Adam, who I'm considering doing a podcast with, by the way, for next year Rugby League podcast. Is that he's a Broncos fan. You guys know him. He's the guy who does the Broncos draft here on the channel actually as well, which comes out in actually in 2 weeks' time. Titans next week, Broncos in 2 weeks." But yeah, he's a massive Broncos fan, and we were talking, and he was thinking it might be called the Moreton Bay Dolphins, or they could be something to do with that aspect, that area. There's been a name floating around called the River City Dolphins. Now that makes no sense. It sounds awesome, but it makes no sense because Redcliffe, where they're technically meant to be from, unless you're completely removing Redcliffe from it, like obviously they've brought in a second Brisbane team, and everyone's seen that they've taken the Redcliffe Dolphins. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're taking that club for what it is and putting him in. They could literally just be using that franchise, bringing them with their structure, with their finances, with everything involved into the league, rather than utilising specifically the Redcliffe Dolphins, right? So that's the issue here. If they're thinking the name River City Dolphins, it makes no sense regarding Redcliffe, and that's why I do worry in regards to the fact that is this a ploy where they're not going to be utilising Redcliffe whatsoever and just taking their brand. DLFCF Gaming says, "What about North Brisbane Dolphins?" No, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Dasman says, "I know New South Wales Cup has the Eels, Knights, and other Sydney clubs, and the Dolphins might have teams in both." Actually, that's a good point. That's actually a really good point. Actually, I didn't even think about that. No, you're probably spot on there, to be honest with you, man. The Redcliffe Dolphins more than likely would keep their Queensland Cup team, and that would just be simply their feeder club. No, you're absolutely spot on. Sasha Kelson says, "I'm kind of confused about the Warriors signing Ash Taylor, but excited to see what he brings." They didn't sign him. They did a basically a trial. Basically, he's gonna get a run on, and hopefully he can impress and get into the starting team there. But yes, I don't think he's really signed a contract just yet. Jack Dempsey says, "What do you think they will name the franchise?" Like I said, man, I'm not too sure. I just think that obviously they haven't called it Redcliffe, and they're probably going to call it like Moreton Bay or something like that, or just something to do with the Sunshine Coast in some aspect, because I really think they're going to want to get that Sunshine Coast versus Gold Coast kind of rivalry going. That's what I'm thinking here. I don't think it's going to be. I really don't think the Broncos are going to be their main rivals, despite the fact that everyone thinks that immediately, because Redcliffe as well have had a lot to do with Brisbane Broncos throughout the years. So for me, I think that they're going to enforce it, and I think that they're going to try and get the whole Sunshine Coast, who don't really like the Gold Coast, for the fact that we're loud and the fact that we're the party atmosphere, and it's just completely different to the Sunshine Coast compared to the Gold Coast, which obviously it's different with the quietness of Noosa and Caloundra and whatnot. It's all very quiet and a bit more of a place to retire, right? So they're two completely separate coasts, and I feel like they're going to really drive that in with the branding, and I think that's a great branding idea. I think it's a great promotion idea because it will get that whole area who don't really like this area, and then we'll also get this area. It's not that we don't like that area, we love that area, but it's just the two different aspects of the living styles, I guess. Will Kettle says, will the Firehawks replace the Dolphins in the Queensland Cup? No, I would assume the Dolphins just simply keep their club in the Queensland Cup as a reserve grade team, basically. Zacko21 says Moreton Bay or Sunshine Coast sounds good to me. Zayd Brown says, what do you want the franchise to be named? I would love something to resemble Sunshine Coast, like I said. DMH Sports says, I have family from Redcliffe, have never had a true connection to a club. Hopefully with this new team I can find a connection and support them from day one. Well, that's the same thing with me from the Broncos, man. As you guys do know, I obviously was in Brisbane, but I never really had that kind of real true support behind the Broncos, like I found with the Gold Coast when they came in. So, yeah. Broccoli Weaver says, has been confirmed that PT's leaving? Yes, good. Vincent Larrigan says there should be an Adelaide or Perth team. I would relatively disagree. Like, yes, there should be, but I disagree in regards to bringing them in next. I definitely think that we should either be getting a second New Zealand team for the rivalry. I think that is the safest option. I think that, obviously, yeah, you could look at Perth. I would definitely be looking at Perth before Adelaide. Definitely. Absolutely be looking at Perth before Adelaide. And Perth is probably the best option. But I really want to look at a South Island rivalry there for the Warriors. Or there is Papua New Guinea, who have obviously been in the Queensland Cup for quite some time now, have been building up a reputation, probably don't have the finances, which is the problem there, but it'd be very good for obviously not only their country to breed some new talent, but secondly, a lot of the talent in rugby league right now is actually from Papua New Guinea. We're not looking at Papua New Guinea as a team that you could take, obviously, the Cameron Smiths or the Billy Slaters or the, I don't know, Nathan Cleary's, they don't go there, but you get to see the talent from said country really revolutionise, and that's what we're going to see with the Fijian Drua in the Super Rugby for the Rugby Union. That's what we would see with the Fijian Silktails in the New South Wales Cup that should have been this year, but is next year. So I'm a big backer of either PNG or a second New Zealand team. However, Perth is probably the safest option. I wouldn't even consider Adelaide right now. I wouldn't consider another Queensland team right now. That's probably my thought process, yeah. Clarkie's NRL comment says that's because Broncos suck and Titans rock. I love that. That's a good comment. That's a really good comment, mate. That's a spot on comment. I've never seen a better comment than that in my life. I've never seen a better comment than that in my life because they do suck, the Broncos. They really, really do. Tigers fan says, do you think the 2023 season will be a big difference in quality to the 2022 season? You can actually argue that it will regress. You could actually argue that it would regress simply because we're going to see the player talent diversify even further. You know, as we're about to go through in this video, as I did say to you guys before, we are going to go through the off contracts of 2022 and 2023, and we're going to piece together the best kind of team that we possibly can. Now, will that happen? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. But in the same sense, it's a bit of fun, and it will go through the off contract players that they're probably going to be looking at snapping up there. But we'll get into that in about, I don't know, 10 minutes time. Sachin Kellen says, I would love to see the Adelaide Rams come back. It's a bit of a stretch. Oh, no, I would love to see them come back. Don't get me wrong. I want to be a domestic competition where we have the national competition, where we have the Perth, and we have even technically Darwin, Tasmania and Adelaide, but it's just not really viable right now. You know, it's not viable whatsoever. You know, the support in Adelaide is not there. And in Perth, there's a bit of support, and they did have a team previously, and so did Adelaide, but it's just not warranted. Like, go and have a look at Papua New Guinea, and you go and have a look at the amount of support that they get. They sell out their games. They sell out their games to Queensland Cup. Do you understand how much that's going to do financially once they do actually get a team? Because they will eventually get a team, whether it's next time or the time after. You know, Papua New Guinea are definitely in line eventually. It's just about the tourism aspect that I think is a big portion of it. And secondly, I think it comes down to the fact that Papua New Guinea might not itself have the finances to cope just at the time being. But if I could choose between taking a Papua New Guinea team or a Perth team, I'm taking Papua New Guinea simply because, one, it also suits better in regards to travel, and two, I just think it's better for the growth of the game overall. Tigers fans, it's a bit hard to let go on current teams as well. At the moment, we shouldn't even be thinking about getting recurrent teams. Yes, obviously, there's the joke about the Tigers getting kicked out. What do you do? I get it, man. It's funny. It is actually very funny taking them over to Perth, and actually, that's probably the most realistic option if we want a Perth team to take the West Tigers over there. But obviously, that's not what we should be thinking about. We should be thinking about evolving and growing, not regressing to grow. You know, we should be thinking about growing and growing and growing, not regressing and then growing, and then regressing and then growing. What's the point of getting rid of a team just to bring in a team? It makes no sense realistically. Yes, obviously there is a cluster of teams in Sydney right now, but as we saw last year, and I'm going to tell you this, there is going to be I can tell you right now, from what I've seen, I can definitely guarantee you that they're in the process of moving this towards a conference system. And I think this is just my opinion, so I'm not saying anything that you guys don't know from articles that you would have seen online too. But I would say that with 18 teams coming in, you're going to see two conference systems, and you're going to see the conference of basically the New South Wales teams versus the rest, and that's and basically you're still going to play everybody else, but it's a very Americanized system. But in the same sense, it would work in regards to this, especially with New Zealand. If you look at it, the Warriors, Brisbane, as in the Broncos, Gold Coast Titans, Redcliffe Dolphins, or whatever they're called, North Queensland Cowboys, Melbourne Storm, Canberra Raiders, and then technically the Newcastle Knights. Okay, so that's 8 teams there. Then again, there's still more teams. You might even have to move another team in. Am I missing somebody who's not on that? Did I say the Melbourne Storm? I'm not too sure, but let's go through that again. Broncos, Cowboys, Dolphins, Titans, Warriors, Knights, Raiders, Storm. I think there's only 8 teams that are outside of Sydney, and then you have the Sharks, the Dragons, Tigers, Panthers, Eels, Dogs, Roosters, Rabbitohs, Manly, and Dragons maybe. So basically, you probably are going to have that. It's pretty similar in regards to the numbers anyway. You actually may have to think about. That's because you need 9 and 9. I don't really know how that works, but overall, man, that's probably what I'm thinking that is on the cards here from the way that you look at it. It's golly, it sucks that teams like the Storm and Broncos will lose their young talent to Redcliffe. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The Broncos and Storm have had a surplus of talent for a very long time. It doesn't suck nothing. Unless you're a Broncos or Storm fan, it doesn't suck nothing. It's great. I want that to happen. You know why? Because one, it diversifies the talent to a point where these teams aren't just getting the singularity of that entire area. The Storm still have Sunshine Coast, man. And also, just a reminder, we're at Redcliffe, that's just adding in more competition, but the Storm still have Sunshine Coast Falcons. That's not going to change. Nothing changes here from that. It just means that obviously another team is coming in for more talent. But unless you're a Storm or a Broncos fan, you should love this because that prevents them from having the singularity sole focus of that area. So I feel like you're a Broncos or a Storm fan because otherwise that would make no sense to have that complaint. Sashin Kelson says, how are the rounds going to work with there being an odd amount of teams? Will there be one team taking a bye each week or will that be uneven? So it wouldn't be the whole season, I don't believe. I don't think it'd be one per week. Actually, it would be more than likely. Sorry, I'm all over the shop. Yeah, you would see a bye per week, yeah. You would see a bye per week, unfortunately, and that's why they need to get to an 18-team season within 5 years. But in the same sense, the early 2000s, before the Titans came in, it was a 15-team competition before the Titans came in 2007. So obviously the young kids nowadays won't remember that. I can briefly remember it as a young kid. At the time, I turned 13 when the Titans came in, so I was very young. But yeah, it was a 15-team competition back then, and there was obviously buys. And now the same thing's going to happen for the next couple of years, and then they'll bring in another team, and then it'll be all sorted again. Clarkie's NRL column says the biggest thing is who they choose to miss out on Magic Round. That's a big call. I didn't even realise that. That's something that I didn't even think about. But obviously, this is why you got to go follow Clarkie's NRL column because he knows his stuff. But yeah, that's a big call. Who misses out on Magic Round? Oh man, that's tough. Unless you have to separate the Magic Rounds, like you have. Oh man, I don't know. Unless you have 2 weeks of Magic Round, I don't know. That's tough actually. That's really tough. I'm not sure. Declan Smith says, hey, BK. Hello, mate. How we doing? Vincent Larrigan says, can't we release 2 teams at the same time along with the Dolphins? What? Vincent Larrigan says, with the 17 teams, does that mean every team will have a bye? Yes. Iscoli says, when does the extra game be played with the 2 new teams? Jeez, man. There is so much, obviously, that goes into this. Obviously, it's still 2 years away. There's a lot of process to go into it, but it just obviously, yeah, it will prolong the season 1 extra week. Or well, the thing is that we've already prolonged the season an extra week simply because, yeah, it's because obviously the buyers will figure that out. The buyers will work it out. They'll figure out the buyers at some stage. It's gonna be something to the buyers. It definitely should be the doggies, as mate. We don't want to see the dogs playing at the moment, so it definitely could be the dogs that miss out on Mercury. Teammates Toys have a rivalry around interest. Broncos versus Cowboys, Dolphins versus Titans, and the Sydney rivalries. It'd be awesome to see that. However, you've got to remember that those rivalries are the big money makers. They're the big money makers, right? So yeah, look, okay, cool, that's awesome. Bring all the rivalries to Brisbane, but then again, Brisbane gets to watch that. Okay, so Roosters and Rabbitohs, so all their fans have just missed out in Sydney because they're in Brisbane, and people in Brisbane don't give a shit. Like, yeah, there's some Rabbitohs and Roosters fans here, but like, no, that wouldn't make sense. Like, yeah, it would make sense to have the Broncos versus Cowboys at Suncorp for that, and also the Titans versus Redcliffe at Suncorp for that, but it wouldn't make sense for any other rivalries, not necessarily. Vincent Larrigan, absolutely not to another Melbourne team. Whichever team is last the week before Magic Round will miss out. Well, you can't really do that. Like, you need to prepare tickets-wise and everything in regards to that beforehand. Nintendo Freak says, I'm pretty sure the Dolphins are going to use Redcliffe and the Sunshine Coast Falcons as feeder clubs. They are playing most home games at Suncorp and a game at Redcliffe and one at Sunny Coast. Yeah, obviously, well, Sunshine Coast Falcons should be. I think that they will align themselves with Redcliffe. However, they are currently contracted to the Melbourne Storm. So it's an interesting process in regards to that. They would have to adjust that and change that to become a Redcliffe feeder club because Redcliffe are actually currently the feeder club for the Warriors, which obviously will change now. Warriors are actually utilising Redcliffe Stadium next year in 2022 as their home base, I'm pretty certain. So I'm pretty certain, if I'm not mistaken, that obviously the Redcliffe Dolphins would be getting rid of that partnership. They used to be the partner. They used to be the feeder club for the Broncos, Redcliffe, but I'm not too sure. I don't think they would be. I don't think they'd be a feeder club for the Warriors next year, even considering that they've been officially announced here. I'm not sure, but yeah, the Falcons are currently contracted there to the Storm. Ima says, I'm happy for the Redcliffe fans. They deserve this. Yeah, they've got a really solid fan base, mate. They do have a very solid fan base, which is great to see. Tigers fans says, every team will have a week with a bye by themselves, and then there will be still a couple of rounds where there are multiple teams with byes. Yeah, exactly right. So it'll be probably later on or something like that. But yeah, there we go, guys. Nintendo Freak says, should the defending premiers miss out on Magic Round and play the World Club Challenge against the Super League Premier? Ooh, yeah, but then you'd have to bring the Super League premiers here. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to bring them here, and that's too tough. That's in the middle of the season, unless you're doing a Magic Round in the first round, which wouldn't make sense. So, logistically, that doesn't really make a great deal of sense. It sounds great, it does, but logistically, that doesn't really make a great deal of sense. But what do you say, guys? Do you want to get into going through the off-contract players, or do you want to keep chatting here about the team, or do you want to start looking at here a bit of fun and going through the off-contract players in 2020 at the end of 2022? Vincent Larrigan says, should there be a Tasmanian team? I would love to see a Tasmanian team, but no, there won't be a Tasmanian team anytime soon. They've obviously got their cricket. They're currently bringing in an AFL team. They're much more AFL in Tasmania. I don't even think there's even rumblings of a team in Tasmania. I don't think they would care a great deal about a team down there in Tasmania. So yeah, look, obviously, I think that's probably not the case that we go for there. But let's move into and let's go through the off-contract players here in 2022. So as I say again, guys, I'm going to move this down here a little bit. As I say again, ooh, let's move this around so that it's full screen. Let's move that one up. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I moved this around. Alright, so we're ready to go. Alright, so as you guys can see, we're going to scroll through. There's all these players here. This is the end of the 2022 season. You can also look at the 2023 season for 1 year early get-offs, or you could even look at the end of this year for players to be signing for 2023. So, like I said, guys, this is all a bit of fun. This is non-factual. This is literally unrealistic, really, because we're putting together our best team, literally the best team that we possibly can from all these players of these clubs. But let's read through them first. So, at the end of 2022 season, the Brisbane Broncos off-contract players Herbie Farnworth, Patrick Carrigan, Jermaine Asako, Ryan James, Albert Kelly, Reece Kennedy, David Mead, Corey Oates, Keenan Palacia, Jake Turpin, and Billy Walters. For the Raiders, there is Matt Frawley. So basically, the players that I'll be looking at there, probably, maybe, potentially Farnworth. You'd consider Ryan James, maybe. Corey Oates, potentially. It's not a great deal of players there that I'd be necessarily looking at personally. Moving to the Raiders, there is Matt Frawley, Corey Harawira-Naera, Josh Hodgson, Corey Horsebright, Tom Starling, and Ryan Sutton. For the Bulldogs, for there, you'd be looking at potentially Josh Hodgson, maybe Harawira-Naera. They're the kind of guys that you'd be looking at, and maybe even Asako from the Broncos you would consider there, because I don't think Asako is going to get a run at the Broncos next year if Selwyn Cobbo is going to be coming into that team, so that might put him on the outer. The Canterbury Bulldogs, John Asiata, Matt Dory, Matthew Duffy, Raymond Fatala-Mariner, Tui Katoa, Max King, Joe Stimson, Jackson Tapine, Paul Vaughan, and Brandon Wakeham. If there is a player here that you know is not off contract, guys, do let me know, obviously. Also, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're new around here. All right, so there's 10 players off contract there. I'd be looking at potentially Matt Duffy, Max King, potentially Paul Vaughan, maybe Brandon Wakeham, not really. But we'll move on. For the Sharks, there's Blake Brayley, Andrew Fafita, Wade Graham, Braden Hamlin-Ueli, Mweni Hiroti, Royce Hunt, Matt Moylan, Britton Nikora, Franklin Pele, Jensen Tamapoyo, and Jack Williams. I would consider there from that club Jack Williams, potentially Mweni Hiroti, Britton Nikora maybe, Matty Moylan you would consider, Blake Brayley's a decent one. I think Wade Graham's probably getting a little bit on by 2023, so probably not my shout there. Obviously, the Dolphins, it's funny that they're already included on this list here. 0 players off contract. You know why? Because they don't have any players on contract. From the Titans, Aaron Booth, he's actually come from the Storm. Herman Esse, if you can take him, Shalon Fuller, Isan Masters, Kevin Proctor, Philip Sammy, Tremaine Bryant, Jared Wallace. You would consider Jared Wallace here, Philip Sammy, maybe Kevin Proctor, probably not. From Manly, there's Morgan Boyle, Cade Cust, Andrew Davey, Manasseh Fainu, Kieran Foran, Tolotau Koula, Carl Lawton, George Tafua, Martin Tapau, and Banjo Boyovich. Funny that Georgie Tafua is still playing. I would consider Marty Tapau. I would consider Morgan Boyle maybe. Manasseh Fainu maybe. I wouldn't consider Kieran Foran. He'll be well and truly too well by then. Maybe Carl Lawton, but probably not. Storm, they have quite a few players coming off. Aaron Booth, he's not actually at the Storm. He'll be at the Titans. Jesse Bromwich, Tom Eisenhuth, Bronson Garlick, Jordan Grant, Jack Howarth, Dean Laramia, George Jennings, Cooper Johns, Felice Carfusi, Chris Lewis, Isaac Lume, Brandon Smith, big one there, Raymond Smith, and Christian Welch. I still can't believe that. What's his name? Yeah, I can't believe that, what's his name? George Phil is still playing. Good on him. The Warriors, Wade Egan, Channel Harris Tavita, Marcelo Montoya, Jack Murchie, Cody Nicarima. You would consider him, Jermaine Tanoa Brown, and Ashley Taylor. For the Knights, there's Girard Mamasuya, Braden Musgrove, Mitchell Pearce, Simi Sasangi, Pasami Solo, and Swaso Su. Now, we'll say this, Kalen Ponga is technically off contract around this timing area, but he has a player option, so I believe if he wanted to re-sign with the Knights, he could. If he didn't, I guarantee you he's going to be the guy at the Redcliffe Dolphins, but I'm assuming that he signs the Knights. I don't know, though. I have no idea. This is all a bit of fun, guys. North Queensland Cowboys, there's Javid Bowen, Kane Bradley, Lachlan Burr, Ruben Cotter, Mitchell Dunn, Tom Gilbert, Ben Hampton, Cohen Hess, Peter Holler, Corneli Lemiello, Jordan McLean, and Emery Perre. For the Eels, Jacob Arthur, Hayes Dunster, Wiremu Gree, Clinton Gutherson, Keegan Hipgrave, Oregon Kafusi, Reed Marnie, Ryan Madison, Marata Niokore, Tom Opacek, Isaiah Papali'i, Junior Paulo. Oof, geez, if you could get Papali'i, my goodness me. Junior Paulo, Hayes Perham, and Ray Stone. Okay, let's have a look at the Panthers. A couple of good players there, to be honest with you, with the Eels coming off contract. Eddie Blacker, Dylan Edwards. Okay, Dylan Edwards is off contract. Matthew Eisenhuth, Kurt Falls, Jermaine Hopgood, Robert Jennings, Mitchell Kenny, Viliami Kikau, Apisai Korsau, Taylor May, Paul Moravsky, and Lindsay Smith. Now, Viliami Kikau is a shout here because I believe that Penrith aren't offering as much as he wants. If Redcliffe come in for a last-ditch effort there, I believe they could actually snag Viliami Kikau from what I've seen in the media. Rabbitohs, Zane Bijorak, Alex Johnston, Josh Mansour, Stephen Masters, Anthony Milford, Tane Milne, Jackson Paulo, and Cody Walker. I definitely think that you wouldn't be looking at Milford there because he's already had his time at Broncos, and I don't think he'll be going back to Brisbane anytime soon. For the Dragons, Daniel Alvaro, Jack Bird, Billy Burns, Pwasa Famasili, Matthew Fianai, Max Fianai, Jackson Ford, Blake Laurie, Josh Maguire, Tarek Sims, and Jaden Sullivan. Going to the Roosters, not a great deal of players there I'll be looking at, great, to be honest with you. Roosters, Angus Crichton, Adam Kieran, Lachlan Lamb, Freddie Lussick, Joseph Manu, Daniel Suruka Fafita, and Siasia Takiaho. A couple of good players there, to be honest with you, that we'll be looking at. And then for the Tigers, there is Luke Garner, Asu Kaparoa, Luciano Leilua, Jock Madden, Thomas McHale, James Roberts, Tommy Talau, James Tamo, Kelma Tulangi, and Alex Twell. So they're all the players off contract. Okay, so I'm going to have a look at the comments here, guys, but then I'm going to start selecting players based on kind of who I think is the best off the off contract. And like I said, guys, yet again, all a bit of fun. You know, we don't know shit. And also, contract-wise, we're not even considering the salary cap here, but this is just the best off-contract lineup that you can put together for the Redcliffe Dolphins. Dasmate says Dylan Edwards would be a good signing. DMA Sports says, Wayno will target South players. Creamer says, get the Mills man, Chocolate Mills. So I think DC will be good there, but I want him to stay at Manly. So basically, when I did that list over there's actually some big name contracts coming off the year after. We can quickly have a glance in 2023. We can quickly go have a glance here. The likes of Selwyn Cobbo comes off. Obviously, he is at Redcliffe right now. Oh, sorry, you can't even see that right now. We'll go down here. The likes of Selwyn Cobbo's there. I'm just going to go over the big names. There is technically, obviously, Tessie New. There's Xavier. Well, I don't know. I thought that was going to say Xavier Coates for a second. Charles Nickel Clockstar at the Raiders. Jordan Rapana. In 2023, there's a lot of players coming off contracts, so you do have to consider these guys as well. But for this, we are going to just go on the 2022, just for the sake of this little game that we're playing here. Just for the sake of this little game that we're playing here, we're going to go and just select from the off contract at the end of 2022. Amon Wiles says Redcliffe should sign Harry Grant as their first marquee signing. Yeah, that's the year after though, in 2023. So unfortunately, I did that wrong in the chat. But before we get in here, guys, let's go hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new here, and also don't forget we posted the Parramatta Eels draft today with Entertain House. So once this is finished, you can go and check out the Parramatta Eels draft. It was a good time with Hayden. It was also his birthday yesterday, so give him a happy birthday. But all right, so who would we look at the fullback here? So let's go through quickly. Is there any fullbacks that we look at? So Dylan Edwards is someone I remember. Jermaine Asako was an option, but I probably wouldn't take him over Dylan Edwards. No one there, real Matty Moreland you could consider, probably not. I would probably be looking here so far at Dylan Edwards, unless you want to look at Kalen Ponga. I think considering we're going to go off this list, we're going to have to go with Dylan Edwards, because Kalen Ponga isn't technically on this list, even though I know that he technically has the opportunity to go. So we're going to go here, and we can see, daisies. Let's go back up there a little bit. We'll see daisies. Alrighty, so let's go here. And let's go on to this team lineup here. Number 1, we're going to go with Dylan Edwards from the Panthers. Alrighty. Dylan Edwards from the Panthers. Bingo. Alrighty. So next up, let's look at our wingers. I think that'd be a fantastic sign if they could obviously get him, but I just don't think they're going to probably be able to do it. Got to be Garth at fullback. Get out of here. Alright, so get out of here. We ain't doing it. Get out my face. Get out my face. Alright, wingers here. So there is Jermaine Asako that you can consider there for the Broncos. Corey Oates, David Mead from the Broncos. From the Raiders, there's no wingers off contract there at the Raiders. The Bulldogs, there is no one really there of the wing area either, to be honest with you. The Sharkies, there is no one really there. Mawene Hiroti, I guess, but not really. For the Titans, you'd consider Philip Sammy. Philip Sammy is one, but in the same sense, there's probably going to be some down here. But Philip Sammy is definitely a good shout there on the wing. And the off contracts, George DeFille is too old by this stage. I'm sorry, guys. I'm surprised he's still playing. No offense to George DeFille, a great player in his time, but not anymore. Any wingers there from the Storm? Because that's obviously where this club is going to be looked at. But I think we all know, we can see a name on our list right now that we're probably going to be going to for the hooker position right there. Warriors, any wingers there? Who have you guys said in the chat? Desmond says Edwards is better than Gutho. Alex Johnson from Broccoli Weeb. Josh Sam says Alex Johnson wants to be a one-club player. It's not the point of all this. I guess you can consider that. But in the same sense, if they come and knock him with a good high-paying contract, let's see if he can hold out. Oh, was there Murray Talangi? Oh, no, Murray Talangi is next year in 2023, unfortunately, for the Redcliffe Dolphins. Yes, there's no wingers there. I think from this list, you're going to have to go with Alex Johnson. You just have to do it. You have to go with Alex Johnson here. So in the number 2, we'll go Alex Johnston. And then in the number 5, who was there that we could consider there for the opposite wing? Was there someone here for the Tigers or the Rabbitohs that might have... Jackson Paulo is there as too, mind you. Jackson Paulo is there too, mind you. What's going on? Ockenbaugh is a good shout. Get out my face. Jockey Monk said, I think Duffy should be somewhere, even in a centre or wing. Nah, man. I'm not really. Lume is a good shout there. It's a good shout. Hayes Duns to potentially Momorovsky. I think you'd be looking more so at the centre there. No, God. So basically, this isn't whether they're going to take him or not. This is simply about where kind of the off contracts here and just putting together the best team based on the off contracts. This isn't necessarily saying they're going to take him, because I think Alex Johnson probably would stay, but that's not the point of this. All right, so who's the next? Who is the next best? It's tough here on the wings. There's not a great deal of wingers here, to be honest with you. I guess you might have to go to the Storm here as well, and you might. There is Lume there. There is Corey Oates, by the way, guys. How old will Corey Oates be? Actually, I'm going to ask this question. How old is Corey Oates? Can you let me know in the chat? Now, I know you're saying NRL, Broccoli, but I'm personally not the greatest of fans. I think he's okay, but I think there's better options here. Maybe George Jennings or Jennings. How old is Corey Oates in 2023 is my question. Would he be above his age 30? Because if he's above age 30, I'm going to get Lume. He's 26. In 2023. Okay, he's in the chat. Corey Oates or Lume. I want to see as many, who you think in the chat. Let me know right now. Corey Oates or Lume. We'll kind of do a bit of mathematical in our head, not mathematics, mathematical in our head. Dax says 28, 2023. There we go. Corey Oates 28 in 2023. He's currently 26. Vincent Larrigan says Lume. Danny says Oates. Jack says my boy Corey Oates. A lot of Corey Oates here. All right, we're going to have to do Corey Oates. There is quite a few Corey Oates there. All right. So Corey Oates, there he goes. So that will be the wing pairing there. Is that coming up there on the screen? Yeah, bingo, it is. All right. So Corey Oates and Alex Johnson, the wing pairing, with Dylan Edwards as the fullback. Okay, now into the centres we go here. Now, who are the centres that we had on the board here? You obviously did have Jack Bird that I saw down there earlier. Jack Bird's not a bad shout. In the Knights team, there's not a great deal there. Cowboys, they had Locker, Mitchell Dunn, Emre Pere, Cohen Hess. There's obviously back rowers there. Did someone say Momorowski? Momorowski is there. I would only look at Momorowski here. Ima says Joey Manu. Is Joey Manu here? Is Joey Manu on this list? Did we read out Joey Manu's name? Oh, yeah, he is. Okay, well, we will definitely be putting Joseph Manu in here. We're just going to put Joey Manu. We're going to put Joey Manu there. So that's easily going as the number 3. And then who else is here that we're going to be looking at here? So anyone else in the centres there from... No, you wouldn't be looking in the centres there. Was there a Tigers one? There is technically here... No, you wouldn't be looking at Tigers because James Roberts is a donkey. He's a donkey. He's a massive donkey. And James Roberts, if you have a look at this, you're a donkey, mate. All right, so there's Jack Bird. Is a good shout. Adam Kieran isn't shocking, Jack. You're not wrong there. I'm looking at the chat here. George Jennings will be a good centre. Gutho out of position. Get out my face. YP Leka. No, this is not the real lineup. This is just us having a bit of fun here going through all the off-contract players. So none of this is official. We're just here having a bit of fun talking about the new team coming through. On a bit of a kickback stream on a Wednesday night. There's nothing really much else to do on a Wednesday night after we lost the World Cup qualifier last night to Japan. Abisa Corsair's off contract as well. I would nearly look at Momorowski here, to be honest with you guys. Let me know if you have any different. So I'm going to throw forward Momorowski, and then I'm going to look at the chat for you guys. I'm going to take Momorowski. You guys are going to suggest someone in the chat right now, and then I'm going to look at the best one, and then we'll go and compare it. Blaze the new CEO. I am the new CEO. This is officially me making the signings. If you're a player watching right now, and this is me making you a signing, so welcome to the club, Joey Manu. I don't care if you want more money. You don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you. No, you can have some money, mate. Don't worry. Don't worry. Chalky Mills says, why you hating me, mate? Get out my face in regards to Gutho going into the centres. Get out my face. Get out my face with Gutho. All right. No one's hating on you, but get out my face with Gutho. So Momorowski in the chat, Jack Bird. It's between Momorowski and Jack Bird for me here. It is. It really is. It's between Momorowski and Jack Bird, unless there's somebody who comes in last second here. There's no one there from the Warriors. There's no one really there from the Storm. Is there anyone there from the centres at Manly? No, there's no one at the Manly centres. Philip Sammy you could consider, but no. Jogging book, you don't need to be sorry, mate. It's all just a laugh. No, you wouldn't take Dufty there in the centres, to be honest with you. I really think it's got to be... I think it's got to be Momorowski. I think it's going to be Momorowski or Jack Bird. You know what? I'm actually going to take Momorowski. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to go down here. I'm just going to make sure that he is off contract there. I'm going to make the executive decision here, guys. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the executive decision. Take that one, mate. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, beautiful. All right, so Paul Morawski. Paul Vaughan will not be going into the centres, Jack. Paul Vaughan will not be going into the centres. He will be the chief barbecue maker, but he will not be going into the centres here. Paul Morawski, bingo. All right, so that's basically our backline kind of sorted there. Bit of an odd backline, but still good nonetheless. All right, now is our 6, and I'm pretty certain, I'm very well aware, it's actually pretty much on the screen right now. Where is it? Our number 6 here. Where is the Rabbitohs? I can see a Cody Walker right there. I can see a Cody Walker. Is there anyone better that you've seen here on this list that is different than Cody Walker? Because otherwise I'm selecting it straight away. Otherwise, especially the fact that this wouldn't even be a crazy selection, and it wouldn't actually surprise me a great deal if this actually happened. The reason why is because Wayne Bennett obviously is going to try and get as many of his Rabbitohs players as he can, and Cody Walker is obviously off contract when this happens. I wouldn't be surprised if this actually worked out to be true. By the way, bit of fun, but come back in about a year and a half's time and see how many of these players actually do get selected. I don't think that Alex Johnson does, but just as a bit of fun, see how many get selected. But we're going to go with Cody Walker here into the number 6. Danny says, Milford, he's right there, Blaze. You can definitely get out my face. You can definitely get out my face right now, immediately. Bingo. I thought Munster was on board to join this expansion team. That's just rumours and kind of extra stuff, but that's not. He's not on this list right now, so we aren't going to be using him. He's not here. He's not here, right? He's not here. All right, number 7. We're going to be looking at here, the halfback. Actually, you know what? We'll come back to the halfback. We're going to go to the number. We're going to go to. No, we will go to the halfback here. All right, so Foreign, well and truly too old, unfortunately. By that time, Foreign, well and truly too old. And personally, I wouldn't look at Albert Kelly because I think he's good, but he'll also be a little bit agey, I would say. Broncos don't really have anybody there that you would look at as a number 7. Obviously, Albert Kelly's there, but I'm sorry, he'll probably be a little bit too old. Mitchell Pearce, he'd probably be a little bit older 2, I would personally say. There's no one there at the Raiders. There's no one there at the Bulldogs besides. There's no one there at the Bulldogs besides Brandon Wakeham. Go to the Titans. I don't think there's anyone here from the Titans that you could look at. In the halfback position, Manly. Yikes! Halfbacks are really thin. Really, really thin. Really, really thin when it comes to halfbacks here on this list. Really, really thin. And while Chanel Harris-Tavita would be a steal, good little play there. Good little player, but yeah, he is probably the best shout to start off with because there's no one here from the Storm, is there? Jordan Grant, Brandon Smith, Remus Smith, Christian Welch. No, there's no one really there from the Storm halfback-wise. Chanel Harris-Tavita is definitely the leader, or there is obviously Mitchell Pearce, but I think he'll be a little bit agey. I do. Jake Averillo, the speedster says. God, it says Mitchell Pearce, but he might be too old. Yeah, 2 years' time. Vincent Lager says Matt Frawley. I wouldn't be taking him over Chanel Harris-Tavita. No one there from the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm not taking Frawley over Chanel Harris-Tavita, unfortunately. Panthers here. Oh, there is the Eels. There's Jacob Arthur, I guess. Not really. Would you get Herbie Farmworth and put him on the bench? No, you wouldn't be putting a centre on the bench, mate. You wouldn't be putting a centre on the bench. Anthony Milford is a 7. That's not going to happen. But technically, that could be the hardest pairing of the Rabbitohs this coming year in 2022. But we're not going to do that just because that would annoy the bejeebers out of me, son. Bejeebers. And if you think that we're going to put Josh McGuire on our team, think again, son. Think again. Matt Mullen's an option, Danny, but I think we're going to go with Chanel Harris-Tavita here. I think we're going to go with Chanel Harris-Tavita here because there's no one here from the Tigers. Nah, we're going to go with Chanel Harris-Tavita. Chanel Harris-Tavita. Oh, that's the wrong name. Harris-Tavita. Please don't go over the side. Beautiful. All right. All right, so now we're into the forwards, the big bopper forwards, the front row forwards. Christian Welch should be the first front rower. That's not even an argument. I'm not even gonna discuss it, lads. I'm not even gonna discuss it. Christian Welch, bingo. Look at that though, Corey Oates, C. Look at that there, right there. C. Christian Welch, C. Pretty good team, mate. C. Huh? Now we're talking. We're gonna go to the number 10 here as well. We're gonna go to both the forwards here before we go to the number 9. We're going to go both the forwards here before the number 9. There's no one else really I'd consider there from the Storm. Morgan Ball's a big forward. Martin Tapau is an option. He might be getting a bit older though. Titans, there is Jared Wallace. Jared Wallace is a good shout, to be honest with you. Jared Wallace is a very good shout. Bromwich is a good shout, but in the same sense, I think he'd be a bit older, wouldn't he? Jesse Bromwich should be a bit older. How old would Jesse Bromwich be in 2000 and... You know what? Just for the sake of it, we've already taken one Storm player in the front row forward there, so we're not going to take another front row forward. We're not going to take them both. We're not going to take them both, so we're not going to utilise We're not going to utilise Bromwich there, even if you kind of want him. We're just going to take somebody else. Bromwich would be 24. What? 24? 2 years? You better dreamer, mate. You better wisher. The Speedster says Fafita. Fafita's not on this list, unfortunately. Junior Paulo, not on this list. It'd be 34. I was going to say, he's not 24, mate. You wisher, mate. You're your biggest wish I've ever seen. I'm considering J-Wold here. I don't, but in the same sense, there's other. Braden Hamlin-Ueli is a pretty good shout. It's a pretty good shout. Oh, Andrew Feeder, no. He'll be well and truly too old, Speedster. Well and truly too old there. Bulldogs, Paul Vaughan is a shout. He's a shout. He might be a little bit agey too, though. Harawira Nara, and then Broncos, there's Carrigan. Patrick Carrigan's not a terrible shout, to be honest with you. Alright, I'm going to get you guys to choose. You can either choose Jared Wallace, or you can choose... to be fair, is Isaiah Papali'i here? You'd probably put him in the second row, man. You wouldn't be putting him in the front row. Yeah, Isaiah Papali'i will probably go into the second row here. Okay, you can choose between Jared Wallace or Carrigan. You guys can choose between Jared Wallace or Carrigan. So let me know in the chat right now. Do you go with Jared Wallace or do you go with Patrick Carrigan? And go vote now. Go vote now in the chat. Jack says, not taking Carrigan, take J-Wall. That's big coming from a Broncos fan. Charles McDavies says, Junior Paulo is better. Junior Paulo's not here, mate. Junior Paulo is there. He'd be old though, wouldn't he? How old would he be? Yeah, everyone's saying Jared Wallace. Yeah. All right, Jared Wallace it is. The big J-Wall, mate. The big J-Wall. How old would Papali'i, Junior Paulo be? He'd be in his 30s, wouldn't he? Yeah, so we're going to go with Jared Wallace here, guys, and then number 10. We're going to come back to that 9 because there's actually a couple of shouts. Actually, you know what? We will go with it. We will go to the number 9 here. And it's either between Apisai Coruscant or there was Brandon Smith. Now, you guys can go vote. You guys can go vote in the chat. Do you take... would you be taking Apisai Coruscant or would you take Brandon Smith in the halves? Up to you. Eamon Wild says cheese at hooker. Danny says Brandon Smith. Tilos McDavies says Brandon Smith, 100%. Okay, so everyone's going Brandon Smith. All right, yeah, we've got to do it. Get a bit of the cheese, mate. Get a bit of the cheese, as long as it's a good cheese. As long as it's a good cheese. But hopefully he's at the Titans by this time. So maybe you could consider Apisai Coruscant the number 14. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there for later on. Maybe Apisai Coruscant was the number 14. I don't know. Maybe. But all right, so let's go here to the back row here. Let's go to the number 11, and I think that it's pretty easy. I'm not going to lie. Isaiah Papali'i, is who you'd be looking at there. Isaiah Papali'i is who you'd be looking at there. And then I think there was Viliami Kikau here too, to be honest with you. I think Viliami Kikau would be a good shout here. Let me know if you have any disagreements to Isaiah Papali'i and Viliami Kikau in the number 11 and the number 12. Gee whiz, this has actually gone fast. I didn't realise we'd been going for like 45 minutes already. Antonio Kafusi, I don't know, man. I wouldn't be taking... No, we've already done no Jesse Bromwich because we've already got Christian Welch. We're not going to take Papali'i and Kafusi. Blake Hart says that's good. Mark Bailey says, don't you dare touch Papali'i Dolphins. We'll give you Sean... Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen. Just... get ready to open up, okay? Get ready to open up because that's what's going to happen in 2023. Speezer says Kaloa Matangi. Was he here? Was Kaloa Matangi there? Where is he? No, he's not here, mate. Mate, are you having a bit of alcohol? You had too much to drink? There's nobody, Kaloa Matangi there? Yeah, my face. Gee whiz, Kaloa Matangi. Yeah, I'm going to have to go William Kikau. We'll have to go with William Kikau here. Boomski. Can you imagine this team right now? Oh my goodness, mate. That's a bit of a weird team, but still, we'll see how we go. Alright, so number 13. Can you imagine that? That's the 2 second rows of the year, even though William Kikau probably didn't deserve it. But Dosoviti, there's 2 Fijians in this team. Let's go, Dosoviti. Actually, is there? No, there's only one. That's William Kikau. I swear I took a Fijian before. I swear I took a Fijian before. No? Okay, apparently not. Oh no, I'm thinking about the Raiders draft they just did with the random stats guy, sorry. Alright, so the 13, the lock. Who are we getting for the lock? The 13 for the lock. Speed says I just joined, but you don't need to be sorry, man. It's all good. Who cares? You know, we're just having a bit of a laugh. Who do we put as the 13 here? This is a tough one here. If any one of you says, I don't even know who I was about to say there, but I'm just trying to figure out who would be a good 13. I'm looking through all the teams here. Dylan Napa's not on this list and also would not be getting on this list, but technically he would be off contract, but he's not getting in this team. He's not getting in this team. I'm not doing it. I refuse. Nathan Brown is off contract. He said, is he on this list though? Because we're just doing it for this reasoning. We're just doing it off these teams. These off contract is off this list for a bit of fun. So I don't think Nathan Brown's on this list if I'm not mistaken. I think I actually saw Nathan Brown for the end of 2023. So this is the end of 2022. Nathan Brown's actually off contract for the end of 2023. DLCF Gaming says Uwali could be. Jack Williams also there. TSM on G Fuel says Zion Yo. I don't think he's on this list. I don't think he's on this list, mate. I don't think he's on this list, is he? No, he's not on this list. He's not there. He's not there, mate. Let's go to the Rabbitohs. No one there. Jack Tim says Carrigan. Josh Sam says Ryan Madison is an opportunity, is a potential. Okay, so Ryan Madison can be an option. There is also Jack Williams. I actually don't mind Jack Williams, Jack Thompson. He actually wouldn't be a bad lock, to be completely honest with you. I actually think he's severely underrated. Big Tino is actually on the list for next year, Speedster. He'd be end of 2023 alongside David Fafita, but in the same sense, I know he's currently in contract. Anyway, sorry. Jack Thompson says he's a lock. Isaac Van Wells says heaps of hookers off contract. The Cheese, Appy, Mitch Kenny, and Reid Marnie. Yeah, absolutely. But you definitely will be looking at the Cheese or Appy before that. Guys, I've got a 0 fade. My head feels like, there you go. There's sandpaper. Well done, mate. Well done. We're currently trying to look here for a number 13 lock, but thank you for letting us know that absolutely incredible, apparently, news. Aiden Parsiani says you could play Grant and then play Smith at lock if you wanted. Harry Grant's not on this list, unfortunately. He's on the next year, unfortunately. I made a mistake there in that vote. Eamon Wiles, Mitch Kenny can play lock. Get out my face. Get out of here. What are you talking about? All right, you guys can make the choice here between not Jared Wallace, gee whiz. You guys can make the choice between Ryan Madison playing as the 13, or you can do Jack Williams. Ryan Madison or Jack Williams. Unfortunately, Kurt Capewell is not off contract at this time, so no, you can't use him. But Ryan Madison or Jack Williams from the Sharks. Jack Thompson says Jack Williams. Jack Thompson says Jack Williams, lock it up, mate. Danny says Madison. Jack Thompson says Williams. Milosh says Jack could be Ryan Madison. DLCF Gaming says Jack Williams. There's a lot of Williams here actually. All right, okay, Eamon Wild says Jack Williams. No way I want to see Madison leaving Para. There is a lot more Jack Williams than there is Ryan Madison. All right, we'll go Jack Williams. I love that. I love that people have actually recognised Jack Williams as a good player. I'm not going to lie. All right, Jackie Williams there. Bingo. Now we're talking. There is 50-50, but there we go. Gooseberg says, put me on the team, coach. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to put you on the team. I'm not going to do. You give me the water boy. How about that one? Gooseberg, water boy. If I had enough room to put you on here, I would actually do it. Alrighty, so number 14, the utility. Who's a good utility here? I guess Matty Moreland could be a good shout here, but there is also Apisai Korosau. I wouldn't mind Apisai Korosau here. Everyone keeps saying Harry Grant. Guys, Harry Grant's not on this list, unfortunately. Harry Grant's not on the list, I don't believe. No, he's not. He's not on the list. I would consider Apisai Korosau here. Let me know in the chat what your thoughts are, based on what we're seeing here. There is Cody Negrima, Korosau, Bobby Boucher. Probably not going to happen that one, Minty Rabbitoh. Probably not going to happen with that one. I can't really think of anybody else. I would go with Appy in the 14, yeah. Lume is not becoming a utility. I think Lume as the utility, they'll do me. Yeah, we're going to put Appy Korosau here. We're just going to do it. We're going to slap him up. If you think you're going to beat this team right now, Apisai Korosau. Imagine the scenes. I'm not going to smile. Alrighty, so let's move into the 15. So now we're going to go with a front rower. We're going to go with a front rower and then 2 back rowers. And the reason why I know this as well and do this is because this is how I do my draft selection. So if you watch my drafts, which we've done the Storm, the Knights, and the Eels so far, with the best players of all time, you should go and check it out after this video finishes. But we did the Eels one today, Knights last week, and Storm the week beforehand. And I usually go with, a hooker, a front row forward, and then 2 second rowers. So let's go with the front row forward here. Gooseberg says David Feeder. David Feeder's not on this list, mate. Danny says Takiyaho has to be in the bench somewhere. The Speedster says Paulo. Actually, I think Paulo was 28. Oh no, was he 28? People were saying. Were people saying that Junior Paulo was 28? Because Junior Paulo is on this list. Kyle says we were about 4 mil over the cap, and I love it. Oh, no, that's the point. We're not looking at cap here, man. This is all just a bit of fun. And this is just kind of giving people an idea of who is available. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not here to actually bring people on the cap. But in the same sense, what did I say? I'm the general manager here, and I'm telling these players they're signing for Redcliffe right now. They don't get a choice. If they don't want to come, that's not my problem because I'm signing them right now. If you're a player right now and you're watching this and your name's on here, well, welcome to the bloody party, son. Take that, son. Take that. Junior's 27 right now. I honestly think you could think about bringing Junior Paulo here. There is Carrigan too. There is Madison. There is Madison that we could be considering right now. There is Madison. There is Paulo. So choose. Actually, you know what? Choose one of the two. Choose one of the two. Do you go? There's actually Cohen Hess there too. I know he's gone backwards a little bit. Maybe a fresh scenery could help him get back to his best. Yeah, okay. You guys can choose right now in the chat. Are you going to go with Ryan Madison or are you going to go with Junior Paulo? Gooseberg says Paulo. Blake Hart says Paulo. Speed says Paulo. I think Junior Paulo 100%. Okay, it's Junior Paulo it is. Junior Zepolo. Junior Zepolo. There we go. Okay, so he's number 15 now. Number 16. We're going to go some 2 back rowers here. We're going to go 2 back rowers. And Jack says, I'll go with me. You're not going to be on this team, mate, unfortunately. You're not going to... Fortunately, you're not on this team. Lachlan says Paulo. There you go. Tilos McDavies says, come on, guys. Why do we put Brand Smith over Ray Stone? Get on my face. Get on my face. All right, so another back rower here, not from the Eels because we've already got a back. We've already done that. We've got 2 back rower. We've got 2 forwards here from the Eels. We've got Papali'i and Paulo. So probably stick away from the Eels there. Lindsay Collins is a shout. Danny says he's getting a lot of Roosters players here. Funny that, Danny. Speedy says you can't beat the Wrecking Ball and Paulo. You can. The only way you can do that is by being me. Take that. He'd slap me. I'm sorry, Paulo. Martin Tapau here is a good shout. Oh, he'd be a little bit agey, wouldn't he, actually? He would be a little bit agey. Definitely don't even look at Herman SASA. Don't even look at that, man. I'm still angry at what that guy did at Magic Round. I'm still angry. Chaploon, we will be doing AFL next year, my guy. I love AFL. I'm just depressed right now because Geelong, we suck. Well, when it comes to preliminary finals. Wade Graham, way too old by then, unfortunately. We've already got Jackie Williams, Britt Nakora. Nakora probably not. Greasy Gamer says, why did you pick Welsh when you could have had Tolman? Probably because I've got a little bit going in here, mate. A little bit going. Maybe not a lot, but I've got a little bit going in here. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Gooseberg says Paul Gallen. That's a guy that doesn't have a little bit going in here. Yeah, unfortunately. Paul Gallen does. Gooseberg is a bit of Gooseberg. He is a Gooseberg. Spencer says Proctor, but a bit of a big shout. I think he's a little bit too old by that. I think Proctor's a great player, a good player, but I don't think people here are going to respect him as much as they probably should. Tapau is 31 this year, so yeah, a little bit too old. Andrew Fafita, way too old by then, Danny. This guy is probably about 60 by that time. And Paul Gallen, the person who suggested that, he's going to be about 70 by that time. I can't wait for his boxing fight, but it's actually the boxing fight, you know what I'm saying? Paul Vaughan is a shout here. That's more of a front row forward, though. We're looking at back rows. Why am I looking at front row forwards here? Well, I've had a few much to drink. I haven't had anything to drink, but I may as well have at this point. And now I've got someone saying Aaron Woods. Yeah, that's it. Ban him. No, don't ban him, but ban him mentally. Matthew says he's only 27 currently, Paulo. Yeah, so that's why he's on the bench. So he'll be 29 at this point. Then he says Wally Lewis. Yeah, we'll put Wally Lewis in the same time the Bulldogs win the premiership, which is never. Or maybe in 2050, as in 2050 years from now. Aaron Wiles says Lindsay Collins would be a good shout. He's a Queenslander. Gooseberg, you'll find that out very, very soon. Greasy Games says Tolman's a useful pickup. He's got that pace, a step, and a late offload. What else could you want? What else could I want? I could probably want not picking him up. Have you thought about that one? Have you thought about that one? Joe Stimson is being shouted here. I don't know why I'm still waiting here. I haven't even done anything. We've got someone. We've still got one more to go here. We've already got BKRmy kickouts. We can't go to the Panthers again and just absolutely slaughter that team. We can't slaughter them like that. We can't do it to them. We just can't do it to them. Is there anyone? Oh, there is Luciano Leilua. There is actually Luciano Leilua here from the Tigers. I like that. I don't mind Luciano Leilua here. Let me know in the chat. What do you disagree with that? Luciano Leilua from the Tigers is a very good player. He's underrated. Daniel Saifiti is not on this list, unfortunately, at the Penrith Panthers. Let me know what you think of Luciano Leilua. Dasmo says Tom Brady. Tom Brady's not a second row, mate. It's not a second row. If he was on this list as a fullback, I would select him. All right. Angus Crichton too. Okay, guys, you have to make this decision right now. Do you go with Angus Crichton or Luciano Leilua? We did miss him. There is two guys here. There is either Luciano Leilua or Angus Crichton. Make your choice right now. There's actually, to be fair, we do have a 16 and 17 here. We do have a 16 and 17. I think we're going to have to go. I think we can go with both. Actually, you know what? Just for the fun of it, we're only going to go with one of these guys. So you choose right now. Crichton. Okay, they're all going Crichton. All right, Angus Crichton there. Okay, if we can't find anyone else, we're going to go with Luciano Leilua here. And I think he's a great selection. I think he'd be a great selection here. So Angus Crichton there off the bench. Look at this team right now. My goodness me. We're about 14 miles over the salary cap, but who cares? Because guess what? Peter V'landers, I'm the boss now, baby. I'm the boss now. This is my team. And if you don't like it, well, guess what? We're coming, son. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, mate. Tarek seems a little bit too old there. Someone's telling me to go to Paulo. Brother Paulo is literally on the team list right there. He's literally there. All right, so one more second row. I really just want to get Luciano Leilua here. I really rate him. I do. I really rate him to complete the team here. You know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Oh, there is Ryan Madison. No, you know what? We're gonna go with yeah, we're gonna go with. Well, let's go with Luciano Leilua. Let's go. Where is he? Well, where's the Tigers here? Where's the Tigers? Mitty Rabbit says, Jared Hayne, you're on the wrong video, mate. The Parramatta Eels draft came out about 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Yeah, well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go Luciano Leilua. Bingo. All right, so that's the team list all done and dusted, baby. That's the team list all done. Actually, if I swap this, will that go away? No, it stays there. Beautiful. All right. So let's go and go through this team lineup right now. As you guys can see over here, our fullback was Dylan Edwards from the Panthers. I think that'll be great. Obviously, there is an 18th man. There's not enough room to fit the 18th man, but 18th man, we're going to go with bloody Francis Ngannou, all right. The fullback Dylan Edwards. At number 2, Alex Johnson on the wing alongside Corey Oates. A bit of an older winger pairing there, though, unfortunately. Trent Barrett, coach. Daz, mate, you should ban yourself for that comment. You should ban yourself for that comment. How dare you say something so ridiculous? That actually makes me angry. How dare you? A late 2000s salary cap storm out of 10. That's actually a good shout. This is a really good late 2000s salary cap storm out of 10. Fair enough. But Dylan Edwards is the fullback, the wingers, Alex Johnson and Corey Oates. Boom, boom. Thank you, ma'am. Wham, bam. I love it. Joey Manu and Paul Momirovski in the centres. My goodness me, look at that. Little centre pairing there. Eamon Miles as Blaze. How much do you reckon this team would cost if there was no salary cap? Oof. That's a video for a whole nother day, man. There's some good money. I'll go through it in a second. I don't really care. It's a Wednesday night. We can be here for however long we want to be. As long as you hit that thumbs up button right now and hit that subscribe button if you are new around here. And then Cody Walker and Chanel Harris-Tavita in the halves. Harris-Tavita kind of makes it look a little bit weird, but I think he's still be pretty good there. They're kind of similar players, though. They're kind of similar halves in that aspect there. But it's still okay. Christian Welch and Jared Wallace are big boppers front row forwards. Brandon Smith in number 9 with Zaya Papali'i, BKRmy Kickout, and Jack Williams in the back row. Apisai Corso as the utility. Junior Paulo, Angus Crichton, and Luciano Leilua on the bench, and Wayne Bennett as a coach. Now, okay, what would I say this team? Dylan Edwards is probably worth maybe. Jeez, what would I say Dylan Edwards is worth? Let me know in the chat, guys, what you think Dylan Edwards is worth. I would say maybe, I don't actually know. I couldn't even. It's hard to rate Dylan Edwards because it's not like he's one of those explosive fullbacks, but he's also still a pretty damn well good fullback, man. I would say maybe 600k, 650, 600 maybe, I would go. Lelouch says Ben Hunt said ages ago he would be interested to play for the new Brisbane team. So I think if when he comes off contract, he might sign. Well, maybe that might be interesting. T-Lace McDuffie says 700k. Jack 550k. Dadsmate says 600k. Eamon Wild 650, 700. Tigers fan 500. I think that might be a little bit low. Till Chung is 600k. Yeah, I think 600k. I'm pretty happy with that. 500, 600k, but I'd probably take more upwards of 600k there. And I think that's pretty much the average there. We've had some 700, some 500s, and majority 600. So we'd probably say it's about 600k, yeah. Now, Alex Johnston, remember he's a little bit older at this point. Alex Johnston, at this point, I would maybe go with... Alrighty, what would we go with Alex Johnston here? I'd probably say with, at this point, 450 maybe? 450k? At this time. He's a little bit older now, guys. I would say maybe 500. He's a little bit older at this point. Paddy Case says this is the best team available. It's the best team that we've come up with available at the time. Yeah. This isn't what they've got. This isn't what they've got. I've got maybe 500k. Paddy Case is most realistic, mate. This is so over the salary cap. It's not funny. This is very over the salary cap. Lachlan Harris is 800k. I think it's a bit much for 2 years down the track, mate. 450k from Jack. 350k from Xavier Brown. I think we'll go with 4. Actually, you know what? Let's move this across and let's actually put these figures in so we can actually see how much it would be in the end. Let's actually put these figures in. Let's move this across here. Let's put this across here. Put that across there. Put that across there. Actually, let's make this smaller. Yeah, this'll suit. You know what? Where is he? The water boy. It is Gooseberg. I already promised him. I did promise Gooseberg 69 that it could be the water boy. So there we go. Gooseberg 69. There we go, lads. All right, so what do we come to a conclusion for Dylan Edwards? We came 600k. 600k. Just please, guys, just know this is all just hearsay. This has nothing to do with anyone's contracts. This is just us talking shit realistically. And Alex Johnson was, I think, 500k basically. There we go. Wise Guy says, let's go the Dolphins. I finally have an NRL team. Good stuff, man. D-Mate says, I genuinely believe that the Tigers should relocate somewhere else. Oh my God, we're not getting into that conversation. Okay, Joey Manu, this is a big one. I'm going to probably say maybe like 800, maybe 800 or so, 850. 800, 850 or something like that. I'm throwing that out there right now. Eamon Wild says Joey Manu, 800k. Tiddler says 900,000 for Manu. I'll maybe go with 800 is what I'll probably be looking at, to be honest with you. Jack Dempsey, 700k. Milosh says 800k, 750k. Yeah, I think it's pretty... I've gone right in the dead set middle there, so we're going to go with 800k. We're going to go with 800k there for Joey Manu from the Sydney Roosters. Well, now he's at the Dolphins. Sorry, Joey, but you're there now. Doesn't matter what you think, you're here. You're here, mate. Doesn't matter what you get paid. Hello. Paul Morawski. This is a difficult one. Paul Morawski, 850,000, 900k. What's that? Why are you giving him $900 extra? Oh, you're saying 850 or 900. Sorry. I'd say Morawski maybe 450, 5, 450 or 5, something like that. Kai Backhouse says lots of teams would be chasing Manu, so the price would be a lot. Yeah, but 900k is probably a bit much, to be honest with you. Till Chunk says 270,000. Gee whiz, you're underrating him greatly. Underrating him greatly. I would probably say 450. I'd probably go with, and I'm probably underrating, but I'd probably go 450. Paul Momsky, 550k, 450k, 500, 450. Not K, someone's get. Oh, $450, not K, is what T-Lace McDuffie says. I think we'll go with 450. I'm pretty much leaning with whatever I say, to be honest with you, but it's all good fun. Alrighty, Corey Oates. Ooh, this is going to be a lot lower because he's very old. He's much older now. He's much older at this point. Corey Oates. Ooh, what should I say? I'm not going to look at the chat first. What should I say? I would say maybe... What's the minimum contract here? I'd be going 300. But what's the minimum contract? Jack says $10. What's the minimum contract? I'd maybe think 300, 250. I'd even say 250. I'd go 250, 300, something like that. Do you know what the minimum contract is? I think it's like 170 or something like that. It's not a high. Zay Brown says, who will be the assistant coach? I am the coach and the assistant coach. Tigers fan says, towards the lower end of 250k, $25 at most. Says, Doorman says 330k. Teal Chunker says 350k. I think we'll go with 300. I think we'll have to go with 300. Carl Bergen says, give him free feeds at the Leagues Club and be done with it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to insult him right now. I'm going to put a fee up, but I'm going to have to drop it down to 250k simply now because of the fact that everyone is and simply now because of the fact that everyone's insulting him. I'm going to have to go and put 250k, which is still pretty damn well good. It's still pretty damn well good. Cody Walker. Oof. Cody Walker. All right, how are we going here? Cody Walker. What are we signing him on? 1 mil? 1 mil? How old would he be? Oh, age. Age is a factor, yeah. 750? Oh, how old would be in 2 years? How old is Cody Walker right now? It's a good question. Cody Walker, age. Let's go. This is such a random stream. Oh, it's 31. Oh, we're going to have to bump that down, baby. We're going to have to bump that down. We're going to have to real bump that down. I'd be going 657. I'd go 657. He'll be 33. I'd go 650. I'd bump that down to 650. Normally, I would agree with 900 to 1,000, to a million. But I'd have to go with 650 at 33 years old, man. Nah, anyone saying 900k is crazy. Anyone saying 900k for a 33-year-old is crazy. People are now dropping it down to 750. Okay, we'll bump it down to 750, but in the same sense, I still think that's a little bit too much there. Oops, 750. Yeah, we'll go 750 there for Cody Walker. Still think that might be a little bit too high, though, for a 33-year-old. All right, so Channel Harris Tavita. Harris Tavita, I'd probably go with 350. I might go with 330, 330, 330, 4. DMA Sports Displays, I like these kind of streams. Really interesting putting a team together like a GM. Can you do this on some sport video games? It depends on how well these videos go, to be honest with you, man. But I'm enjoying it. I'm fine. JMX Sports says 400k. Channel Harris Avita 375k. Lachlan Boost says 450. Sasha Gustin 400. Kyle Bergen says 400, 450 just because he's a half. Yeah, he's a halfback. You do have to bump it up a little bit because he's a halfback. T-Les McDavid says 1.5 million. Get out my face. Greasy Gamer says 1 mil. Get out my face. I think everyone's kind of going between. Well, some people saying 150. I'd probably say 450 just because he's a half. Oh, yikes! I'm gonna have to make that smaller. Sorry, one sec. Bloody Gooseberg, he screwed us here. He screwed us here, the old Gooseberg. Now we can't even see the bloody whole. Bloody the Gooseberg, mate. He's a goose, that guy. He really is a goose. We need to make it bigger. Then you know what? We're gonna make me smaller. We're gonna make me smaller, mate. Let's go there like that. This is all Gooseberg's fault. Blame Gooseberg. That's what you better wait until you wait until you see what you're going to get contract wise after all this shenanigans, mate. Tell you that right now. Alrighty, so that's what we got there. Let's make this a little. Where is it? Okay, let's get into here. So Christian Welch. We're up to Christian Welch now. What are we giving him? Christian Welch 600k. I don't know why I'm looking at this. I would give. How much is Christian Welch? How old is Christian Welch? How old would Christian Welch be? He would be 29. He'd be 29, so still prime age for a forward. I think he'd be nearly 750, 8. I'd go 750. He'll be 38, Jack says. You think Christian Welch will be 38 years old? He'll be 29 years old, mate. He'll be 29. I would go 750. Wow, people are saying 550. You're underrating him greatly. But I'll take your opinion into consideration, but you're underrating him severely. 750k is probably what I'll be looking at. Well, okay, so everyone's going with 650. Some people saying 7. Some people saying 5. We'll have to go 645, but I think that's really low. I think that's really low. We'll go 700. We'll go 700. We'll go 700 there. I'll meet you halfway, kind of. More leaning towards me, but have that. Brandon Smith. This is a big one. This is a big one because a lot of teams will be coming after him. Titans, Broncos, maybe Raiders. I don't think he'll go there. I think you could be looking at it in excess of 850. I would probably say 850 simply because he'd be in excess of a lot of teams would be looking for him. As in, like I said, the Broncos and the Titans. Even Storm will try and re-sign him. I'd be looking at 850. Brandon Smith says 800. Eamon Wiles says 800. Tilchunga says 950. James Export says 750k. Jack says 850k, I reckon. Michael Newman says 1.5 million. You're out of control. Jack Dempsey says 900k. You know, it'd be funny for players watching this and they're just like, what the shit is this guy talking about? He's just talking shit. To be fair, I am talking shit. Milosh says the Chiefs need 10 mil to buy the Salt. Lockenboo says Brandon Smith 800k to the fact he can play lock and second row as well. Some people are saying 900. Some people are saying 800. No one's going really below 800. I think we'll go with 850 here because people are saying in between. So we'll go with 850. Because he can obviously play those two positions. You're absolutely right. We'll go 850. All right, Jared Wallace here. Jared Wallace will be a little bit agey. How old is Jared Wallace at this point? He's a little bit agey right now. He's a little bit agey, the big boy. He's 30, he's 32. He's not too bad. He's not too bad, the old Jared Wallace. Jared Wallace is a big bubba. Maybe 600 maybe? Maybe 600k, 500, 600k. Tilchunga says 600k. Danny says 550k. Tiddlers McDavies says 550. Don Finifawaki says 200 to 300. You're out of control, mate. You need to sort yourself out, son. Greasy Games says 150k. Get out my face. Michael Newman says 550. I think 550 is fair. People are going 500. People are going 600. People are going 650. I think we'll go 550 right bang in the middle. Bingo. 150k. What a joke. You are a joke. Yeah, he's still upset the Sharkies didn't make it to the finals over the Titans. Isaiah Papali'i. Oh, yikes. This is huge. This is a big one. Isaiah Papali'i will be on a big contract. Because he'll be coming off his rookie. Academically, he says, if you start going for the Dolphins, it will put you out of your suffering. Probably not, mate. Sachin Kelson says 800k. Isaiah Papali'i, I would go with 800. Yeah, I would agree with that. I'll go 750. 750, 800. But then again, if David Fafita's worth 1.2 at the Titans, if David Fafita is work, no, Kali Kalupi, this is not the team. This is just us talking shit, having a bit of fun. We went through the best off-contract players in 2023 and put together our best team. And now we're just talking and bringing up our kind of putting together what we think their contract would be worth, potentially. We'll do our captain advice in a second, John Camira. You robbed us in 2020. How about that one? The Speedster says 820k. Jack says 750. Nah, David Fee's worth 1.2. You have to go at least 850. You have to go at least 850 here. You were going to go 850. You're going to go 850, but he's probably worth more, to be honest with you. William kick out. William kick out. I will. Ooh, who do I go with? Tosoviti, man. The Tosoviti, whatever. C'est go. William kick out. Maybe 750, 8, 750 or 8, something like that. Lachlan Harris says kick out 750. Sasha Kells says 650 or 700k. Michael Newman says 90k. Get out my face. Speed says half a penny. You're drunk. Lachlan Boost says kick out 1 mil. 1 mil. Wow, shit, mama. Actually, this is going to play a big part in what I will say. William Kikau. How old is his age? He's 26. He'll be 28. He'll be in his prime, man. He'll be in his prime. William Kikau. He'll be 28 years old. I'd probably say he's 750. I'd probably say he's at very minimum 750, borderline 8. I'll go. I think there's more people here saying 600, 700. So we'll go with 750. I think he's probably more so looking at an 8-figure, but not 8-figure, but 800. Bayer Bugaboo says, I don't know much about the NRL, but how big is this? How big is what? This team? It's very well over the cap. It's going to be very well over the cap. Alright, Jack Williams. Jack Williams is an interesting one here. Jack Williams is a very interesting one. I would say 400, maybe 5. Between 400 and 500k, maybe. I'd say between 4 and 500k. DMH Sports kicking out the Dolphins would be insane if they got Walker. My goodness me, this is an incredible team. There's a reason for that. Greasy Gamer says Jack Williams. I wouldn't even give him an ice cream cone as a Sharks fan. Jeez, you're harsh for a Sharks fan on Jackie Williams. I think he's a great player. I love him. Greasy Gamer's having a bit of a crack there. Eamon Wild says 400k, 460k. I think everyone's going in between, so we'll go 450k because I've seen a couple of 500s as well. We'll go 450. It's massive, Bay Area Bugaboo. It's massive to get a new NRL team, to be honest with you. Alright, so Jackie Williams on 450k. Now we're getting to our bench. And Apisai Coruscant is here. Now, Apisai Coruscant, he'll be agey. He'll be a bit agey here. So we're going from one featuring to another. Apisai Coruscant is 28. He'll be 30. Not terrible. Not terrible. Apisai Coruscant. Greasy Scammer says Jack Williams is the worst forward of all time. Wow, that's crazy. I don't think so. Apisai Coruscant, I would say maybe 600, maybe 650. I'd say 650. 650 I would probably go with here. Kelly Kalupi says Coruscant 850k. Tilles McDuffie says 650k. Danny says 550. Tigers fan says 700. Wow, this is really fluctuating. Jay has his G's, I'll show up for 100k a year as a dedicated water boy. Oh, you wait until you see what we give Gooseberg for the shenanigans that he pulled before. Jack says if this was Cameron Smith, then 1 million, but he's not, so 650k. Lachlan Harris is 800. Geez, this is a tough one. There's a lot of people saying 600. There's a lot of people saying 800. There's a lot of people saying we'll have to go with 700 then in between. You have to go with 700 in between. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with that because they've gone lower, and some people disagree with that because they've gone higher, but we have to go in the middle because that's what everyone else has done here in this chat. All right, Junior Paulo. Now, Junior Paulo, how old is he now? You guys can go in chat and let me know what you think. Junior Paulo, he'll be 29. He'll be 29. I'd go 700. I'd go 700 upwards. I'd go 700. I'd go maybe even 750. He's a good player, man. You could. I'll go 700, 750. Paulo 1000. Yeah, wow, that's a big contract. Not really. Gris Gamer says Paulo's better than Woods. Sasha Kelson says 600k. Blake Haas says 650, 650, 750, 650. A lot of people saying 650, but a lot of people also saying we'll go 700. Go 700k right there. Bingo. 700k right there. All right, Angus Crichton. This is a huge one. Angus Crichton. What are we going to chuck him? How old would he be? He wouldn't be old. He'd be like 20. He's young now. Isn't he? I think he's young. He's very young. I think he'd be like 24 at this time. No, he'd be 27. Sorry, he's 25 now. He'd be 27. I would say Crichton maybe 750 as well. I'd say he's around the 700 mark too. 750, 700. I'd say 700, 750, maybe 8. Greasy Gamer says Jack Williams worth 12 cents. That's crazy that you think that, my guy, as a Sharks fan. Eamon Wild says Crichton 800k, Sachin Kelson 750k, Jack Wilson 550, a bit low, well and truly too low there. Michael Newman 850k, Jax is 750, Lachlan Boost is 700, Crichton 69 cents, good number, but no. I think pretty much the average consensus here is about 750, so we'll have to go 750. We'll have to go 750. Now, Luciano Leilua, I think 400. I think 400 on the dot. Schmack, bang, boom. Schmackety, bang, boom. 400 on the dot. 400 on the dot. I think clean. Clean 400 on the dot. Kali Kalupi says $2. $2. You know what? We might consider that. Because, like I said, once their name was written down here, they're officially signed for the Redcliffe Dolphins. Speed says, I'm sorry, I'll stop trolling. No, you're right, man. It's all good fun. We're all just having a laugh here. It's like this is basically a troll anyway, so. Tiltonga says 500. 500 at least, Tigers fan says. Tony says 450. Lachlan Boost says 400. Greasy Gamer says, I'm so glad that Tolman didn't get a spot here. That would have been a robbery of somebody else's spot if Tolman made it. I agree, Greasy Gamer. Jack says, since he's a Tigers player, 50k reduction. That's why he's on fire. No. I think everyone's pretty much saying, I must have underrated him. Like, I thought he was underrated at 400, but I must have severely underrated here. So I'll accept the loss here, and I'll put it at 500, because a lot of people are saying 450, 500, and we'll bump it up. We'll bump that bad boy up. We'll bump that bad boy up. So that's the team there. Actually, no, what? Just for a bit of fun, what do you reckon Wayne Bennett's worth? What do you reckon Wayne Bennett's worth? I'm going to let you guys decide this. I'm not even going to give you a shout. I'm interested to see what you think Wayne Bennett is worth as a coach. and I don't want to see any actual offers. I want to see what you would actually potentially sign in for. Pillars McDavies is $350 and a 4-year-old Lego set. Oh, there we go. I like the Lego set though. I do. A 4-year-old Lego set, but it's still a Lego set nonetheless. And we do like a little bit of Lego. And while it says add the contracts up, would be interesting to see how much the team's worth. I will do it. We'll do it. We've nearly been going for an hour and a half now, 2 hours. Basically, everyone's saying 1 mil. Everyone's saying 1 mil. Mate, give Gooseberg 69 the whole salary cap. No, he's a shenanigans puller. Okay, well, we're just going to do it for 1 mil then. 1 million. 1 mil. There you go, mate. That's what it says a haircut. So 1 million there, and the water boy gets... He actually has to pay us minus... So how much does this all cost? How much does this all cost is the real question here. Artie Hatfield says you could put Isako for Oates since he's pretty much underrated, same as the Hammer since his contract ends in 2023. So basically what we've done here is we've only done players who are off contract at the end of 2022, not players at the end of contract at the end of 2023. So we did it before. We went through and had a look on this other system here, this one here. Over here. Oh, I can't. Sorry, That's looking at the age, but it was there anyway before. So let's go total this up because this is what Gooseberg's going to owe us. This is what Gooseberg's going to owe us for being on the team here. Let's go calculator. All right, so 600,000 plus 500,000 plus 800,000 plus 450,000 plus 250,000. Bingo. That's Corey Oates. 750k for Cody Walker. 750,000. Bingo. Harris Davida 450,000. This is such a random stream. 700,000 Christian Welch. Brandon Smith 850,000. Oh, geez, I only put 85,000. That would have screwed everything up. Oh my god, where was I? Oh, was it Brand Smith? Okay, Jared Wallace, 550,000. I hope I'm doing this right. If I'm not doing this right, then I'm drunk. 550,000. Jared Wallace, Isaiah Papali'i, 850,000. Can someone get the actual salary cap for a second here? Because my brain is frazzled. William Kikau is 750k. 450k. Oh, that was 45,000. Oh no. 405,000 would be what it would be to make it up. 405,000 to make that up. Apisai Coruscant, 700k. 700k for Junior Paulo. Jeez, this bench is pretty big, bopper. 750k. We're at 10.1 mil. Luciano Leilua is at 500,000. 500,000 here, and then we don't have to do the coach. Actually, we can do it, but this is what old mate Gooseberg owes us right now. Gooseberg, to be the water boy, is on minus 10.6 mil. 10.6 mil, and we're gonna have to make it smaller. See, this is the shenanigans that this guy pulls. This bloke pulls here. Hold on. There we go. That's what this guy. That's what's going to happen here. Okay, 1 second here. Let's go down here. Gooseberg. He's going to have to get a plus here. Hold on. Hold on. Now we're going. Bingo. So this is the team. There we go. What's the actual cap right now, by the way? So we're actually not too bad. We actually weren't too far off it, to be honest with you. If the cap, no, the cap's not 9.5, is it? No, it's not 9.5. I think it's 9.9, isn't it? Something like 9.0 or something like that. Artie Hatfield says he's still going for the Titans. What do you mean am I still going for the Titans? Are you shitting me? What do you mean am I still going for the Titans? Like, of course I'm still going for the goddamn Titans, mate. You don't just change. Dally M, Waterboy of the Year, Gooseberg 69. Jack Dempsey says 9.8. I'm going to get it here because I don't trust you guys. Because the cap changes. Current NRL salary cap. Current NRL. The base salary cap for 2020 is 9.5 million. So 9.5. We're actually only 1.1 over here. We're only 1.1 over. And we're only 1.1 over. It's not actually ridiculously crazy. Like this is never going to happen. But it's not like we were absolutely out of control with this, with the money that we gave out. So I'm actually relatively happy with that. I thought it was going to be well and truly way more over the salary cap. D-Match Sports says up the Dolphins. James Sports says 9.5 is what I thought. Jack says, but the salary cap is the top 30. Jack, just shut up. Listen, man. Gee whiz, just be happy for us that we got a good team together here. Just be happy with you that we got a good team together here, mate. Tigers Panthers are 13 players down. Exactly. Well, we've got 17 players. Well, shush. I'm going to sign. Well, we can sign a bunch of you guys for $0. There you go. See, I'm signing myself as a player coach $0. See, but realistically, I'm going to get sponsorship money. So overall, I'm just going to do what the Broncos do. Danny says only 1.1 mil BKR. Yeah, we're only talking Melbourne Storm of 2007 and 9. Only Melbourne Storm. Was Aka says, are those real players that will be in the Dolphins? No, maybe one of them or two of them, but these are guys who are off contract at the time the Dolphins come into the competition. Carl Bergen says, pull the other 13 off the streets. Absolutely. That's exactly what we're going to do here, mate. That's exactly what we're going to do. Big Bubba says, Wayne makes up the rest of the players. He'll have a run. Gooseberg, actually, to be fair, guys, we're actually very much under the cap. We're actually very much under the cap. You know why? Do you know why? Because Gooseberg owes us minus $10.6 million. Right? So we're actually $0 right now. We're at zero. We're the biggest winners here. We're the biggest winners because now we're going to go and sign Cameron Smith again and Wally Lewis and Darren Lockyer. But anyway, guys, that's going to that should do us here for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Obviously, it was a lot more serious at the beginning. We did speak about the Redcliffe Dolphins and our thought process of them coming into the competition, and basically kind of what we're thinking about how it will logistically work. And then obviously we had a bit of fun here and put together the best off-contract lineup that we possibly could. And there we go, guys. But obviously, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new around here. If you do like this kind of video style, then after this video finishes going live and gets uploaded, go and comment on the actual video itself, not in the chat, on the video itself, and let me know that you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget we put out the Parramatta Eels draft alongside myself and the Entertain House. Well, not alongside myself, me alongside the Entertain House. Where we did a Parramatta Eels draft. So go and check that one out. That's where we go through the entire history of the Parramatta Eels and select our best team. He gets one team, I get one team. Once a player gets selected, that's why this is actually pretty relevant to the channel right now. Yeah, it's like it's become my mate is calling you a bandwagon Titans. I am a bandwagon Titans fan, man. I'm a massive bandwagon Titans fan. I've never been more of a bandwagon Titans fan in my life. I only started supporting the Titans because we're good. We're a very good team. We're a very good team. We've always been a very good team, to be honest with you. So, but what our captain's Titlo said. What is our captain? Who's our captain? You know what? You guys can choose the captain. You guys can choose the captain right now. I'm going to allow the chat. Everyone in the chat, let me know who you want as the chat. Oh, I know, Tigers fan 00. Oh, I know. You guys can choose in the chat right now who is our captain. Just got to wait. Oh, unless everyone's already gone. Has everyone already gone? No, people still here. Tony says Gooseberg, get out of here. He's the water boy and he owes us 10.6 until he gives us that 10.6 million. We better see a donation on this channel for 10.6 million. Big Boy House says you bandwagon when you won the spoon. Yeah, I did. That was a big time for me. Christian Welch is a captain. Welsh captain. You know what? Our captain... Okay, so where is it? Okay, that's the one we're going to click on here. Okay, so our captain... Walker captain, someone's got here. Momorowski is captain. That ain't happening. You know what? Yeah, well, you know what? We're going Christian Welch here, mate. We're going Christian Welch. Is this... We have to do someone that's not going to have to make me change. So, yeah. C. Christian Welch is the captain. And the vice captain... No, we're not going to have a vice captain. The goal kicker. Who's our goal kicker? Who's our goal kicker? Danny says he's the goal kicker, co-captain, captain, and assistant coach at the same time. Who is our goal kicker here, actually? Who is our goal kicker? Who can kick a goal here? Who can kick a goal here? I think we might have missed this one. We might have forgot this one. We forgot to get a goal kicker, lads. We dead set. We forgot to get a goal kicker. Harris Tavita. Bennett's the kicker. Junior Paulo's a goal kicker. Harris Tavita. Apparently Harris Tavita can kick a goal. Okay, so he can kick a goal. Okay, he can be our kicker. Oh, no, we can't have him. We can't have him because that will get rid of the 450k there. Manu can kick. Harris Tavita can goal kick. No, we can't use Harris Tavita because this would mean that, unfortunately, that 450k will go off the screen. We can't have that. I'm not going to restructure it again. So Harris Tavita can't kick now. Unfortunately, he's not allowed to kick. We're going to have to give it to Joe Manu. We're going to have to give it to Joe Manu. Kicker. There you go. There you go, guys. he can be our kicker. If you don't like it, then I don't like you. But anyway, we're going to be done here for today, guys. Thumbs up, subscribe. Appreciate you as always, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.